Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's the CD guy, John EZ here. Thank you so much for tuning back into the channel, and today I'm going to be talking about, and sharing my thoughts on some of the biggest news right now in the Guns N' Roses community. That is the new leaks of the potential new Guns N' Roses songs, those being The General and Monsters. So, first off, I do want to say that everything I'll be talking about here in terms of, the potential new songs are just that, potential, right? These leaks that came out of The General and Monsters are, not necessarily legit. I won't risk the credibility of the channel by calling these leaks the real deal because we don't really know yet. The General was supposed to be the B-side to the single Perhaps coming out on vinyl yesterday, October 27th, but that was pushed back in an official statement by the band. GNR said this, and I quote, "After much back and forth, we are finally content with the quality of the Perhaps General vinyl. We are sorry it pushes the release to December 8th, end quote." I'm not really sure what the back and forth is. I mean, this is 15 years old rehashed material, but God knows they've done it before. Since the delay, there have been a number of different outlets on social media posting what they're claiming to be leaked versions of both the General and a potential new song called Monsters, which were quickly taken down for the most part by a copyright claim from Universal Music Group, which only gives legitimacy to the fact that these leaks may be the real deal. And that said, there are still some of these supposed leaks out there on YouTube, which is where I heard the potential General and Monsters. So I definitely recommend you check those out before those are taken down as well, because I'm sure they will be. But, they sound consistently the same and in line with, what all these leaks kind of sound like. So everybody's kind of putting out the same sounding type of a track here. They all sound similar. So, again, consistency adds legitimacy to the fact that these might be legit. And, again, I've heard the latest leaks of The General and Monsters, and I'll be sharing my thoughts on what might be the Chinese democracy holy grail here that GNR fans have been waiting years to be released. Again, I'm not vouching for the authenticity of any of these leaks, but from what I heard online, let's get into the music. I love the lyrics on The General. I think it has a really interesting vibe to it and groove that sounds right out of the Chinese democracy era, and it's definitely a track that's going to take some getting used to, but I'm sure hearing a properly mixed and finished version will help that. But for a song that's been shrouded in mystery by GNR fans for years, and it's certainly a really unique, different song with lots of interesting effects, maybe a little bit of an almost techno vibe to it, and a great chorus as well. So if this is the Chinese democracy holy grail, this was the song that many people have claimed to be the best unreleased track of this era. It's really solid. I think it's going to take some getting used to. I think it's more of a grower of a track, but I really enjoyed it. I listened to it, the leak a few times. If this is the real deal, I think it's pretty solid. I'm only going to enjoy it more with a cleaner version, if that is, what it's going to sound like as the B-side to Perhaps. So, that said, The General, this big, mysterious song that, Guns N' Roses fans have been waiting years to hear. If that leak is real, it sounds pretty cool, and, the mix is kind of interesting. Again, I don't think it's finished, but the mix is interesting and it's going to take some getting used to, but in general, I really enjoy it. Monsters is a slower sounding track, but with a much more menacing vibe as well. It also sounds like something that would fit right on Chinese democracy. Axl's vocals really kick into second gear as well about halfway through the song, and they definitely sound like they were recorded around the 2001, 2002 era, just, gauging from his vocal range there compared to his vocal range now. And it's another track that does sound a little incomplete, maybe a bit clunky as well, but I'm sure the mix will be cleaned up by the time it's given an official release by Guns N' Roses, if, again, it is the real deal. I do want to emphasize that and keep saying that because, until Guns N' Roses put out an official release, it's all just speculation. All in all, my first impressions on the alleged tracks here is that they absolutely sound like demos. They don't sound complete. They sound, like they need to be cleaned up in the studio, need a different mix, things of that nature. And the guitar work, I thought, really doesn't sound all that much like Slash is playing, which I thought was odd. So, again, maybe these are older recordings. That would make sense. But in no way do I think these are the completed versions. I think the production sounds far too murky and underdeveloped, but time will tell if these are, in fact, legit and, authentic. But, again, all we can do right now is gauge off of leaks, and, from what I heard, I do kind of enjoy both tracks individually. Again, I think it's going to take some getting used to, but for the big Chinese democracy, holy grail, ultimate track here in The General, it does sound really cool, and it's very different. It's a lot of experimentation going on, and so I enjoyed that aspect of it. But allow me to rant for a second here. GNR really dropped the ball when it comes to the General. I mean, nothing can be easy with this band. It's nothing, right? I mean, fans got all excited for the release of the General yesterday, and then it got pushed back. So it's just funny they managed to fumble the release of the Perhaps single when it dropped on radios nationwide, and are now doing the same old nonsense here with the General, which is a song that people have been waiting to hear literally for over a decade, longer than I have been waiting to hear it. A lot of Guns N' Roses fans have been waiting and waiting and speculating, and now, we'll have to wait to know for sure until December, which is a little frustrating because we could have known yesterday. But there are some leaks out there, and that's what I was talking about here today, giving my thoughts on what could be the General and Monsters, but again, we don't really know for 100% right now. So that wraps up this video here. Wanted to share my thoughts on, again, the biggest story in the Guns N' Roses fan base right now pertaining to the General and Monsters, the leaks that came out. Are these real? Are they legit? And, what do they sound like, right? How do they sound? I wanted to share all my thoughts on that. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel down below, turn on the bell for notifications so you never miss a new upload, and let me know down in the comment section below if you've heard the leaks, and there are several different uploads on YouTube of people putting it out there. So if you have heard the leaks, what do you think of them? Do you think they're real? And do you think that they are unfinished? Maybe they just sound like demos. What do you think? I want to hear all of your thoughts down in the comment section below. So please let me know all that good stuff down there. And until next time, it's the CD guy, Johnny Z, signing off. Take care, everybody.